would you say, like, if you had to give yourself advice again, back to your, I'm not saying you have any regrets, but is there anything you would have done differently, sort of leading up to maybe where you are today? At any point in your life, would there have been anything you would have maybe done a little differently?
That one night in January of I would have said no to Patron.
But your biggest blessing came out of that.
Biggest blessing.
It was Patron they were rocking back. Patron was big though.
Or Four Locos.
It should have been Four Locos. Wow, yeah.
Nah,
you know,
that'll
we
do
couldn't
it.
afford Patron
That'll
back
do
then.
it.
That'll do it.
Four Locos was
Did
cheap.
they do a recall on those things?
I don't see them anymore.
The worst thing for me was, did you have double springs?
No, I ain't never
That was
had
90
that.
proof, right?
Yeah.
That was
Evergreen,
hell.
Everclear.
Everclear.
Yeah, Everclear, all that
I
stuff.
stayed away from that stuff, man. I had double spring one
Yes.
time, and I felt like I had ulcers on my stomach that night. I'm Gucci. I was good, man. I was like, no, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, college was an experience for sure. But regrets. Let's see.
No regrets. Just read. There's things maybe you would have done any different.
Things that I would have done differently. I feel like I've given the wrong people too much of my time in my life. You know what I'm saying? I think that if I could like undo a couple relationships here or there or shorten them, right, then I could have been further along. Because sometimes, like, I'm a big giver, so oftentimes I find myself always giving and never receiving. And that comes from relationships, friendships, you know, just even business relationships. Yeah. I've given to a fault. And so that's something that I'm learning now to check, and that you don't have anything to prove. That's what I have to tell myself. Like, you don't have to prove that you're a good person. You have to prove that you're a giver. You have to prove that you're a wifey material. You know, and sometimes, at least me personally, I've dealt with that where it's like, let me show you why you should be with me. Let me show you why you should be my friend. Let me show you why you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think that that's been something that I've had to like reel in, and like, if you get it, you get it. And like, if you know, you know, and I don't have anything else to prove in that area.
Okay. I have one question. So since we're on, you know, personal relationships and things like that, we know you're doing successful out here business-wise, but then there's also an element you live here. So how is it just socially going out comparing to Atlanta and all that? Yeah. Are you finding success in that? Are you having fun? Or you still taking your time and like, all right, what's the social scene like?
Yeah, I might get in my business, and I don't like that.
No, you know, people want to know.
People want to know how the social.
Let me drink my fake Patron.
Because it can't always be about the money and the success.
No, I'm just kidding.
You gotta blow off some steam.
I just listen. Oh, okay. Now let me stop. The dating scene. Let's just talk about it. The dating scene in Dubai for me has been very tricky. You know what I mean? It's interesting. I am single, so.
Oh, the DMs will be flooded.
And I've pretty much kind of been wanting to be with someone from the States. You know, my profile is a Black American man. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I prefer. That's my preference. So, of course, there's not a lot of that here.
Chopped.
Right?
95% of the population is done.
Yeah. 0.000001. So that's that. So it would have to be, even if I were to get exactly what I wanted from that profile, someone that has the means to travel, you know, consistently to be, it's not cheap to come here. You have to walk away from your business or whatever it is that you're doing to be here with me, and vice versa. You know, we'll have that big component, because I'm not going to be flexible in that particular part of my life at this stage. Like, I'm still in a building stage, so I cannot compromise on that. So you have to be understanding of that particular piece. Like, a few years from now, then of course we can talk about what that looks like. So that's been difficult. And then the type of men that I'm here, like, I lived in Atlanta and I'm from Hinesville, so I don't even know what it's like to date outside of my race. I've never done that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like, I don't know how to interact. Like, I don't know what to say. You know, it's kind of like an awkwardness that I'm still learning how to get over and get past. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like wig, no wig. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, do you like that? Yeah. You know?
Like, you want them touching you. Right?
Is
that real? Like,
it's like cleavage, no cleavage. Like, what we doing? Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different cultural differences that, you know, that I'm engaging with and just learning about, you know, so it's cool.
Mike, how'd you tackle any of the cultural differences? You're from New York, right? Like, it was.
Yeah, let's talk about your booze. What you be doing? I know you locked down.
I'm locked down, but I wasn't locked down in London, so we could talk about the experience there. So like, but how?
Because it's not black women here either.
Yes, it's not that many. I don't know. I could say I've been embracing the culture. You know what I'm saying?
United Colors of Benetton out here. Been the United Nations, bro.
You captain the passport, bro. You follow them.
Nah, that ain't nah. We do not follow passport, bro.
Kosher, you know? So yeah, it's halal, I would say.
Okay.
But yeah, just embracing the culture and all that.
Yeah.
One barrier I've had dated women from the region, and Muslim women, and then the barrier will always be, you know, you're not Muslim. At some point,
it's going to come up,
convert and all that. So
yeah,
some
that's
are
a non-negotiable for me.
And some aren't. So that always gets to that point.
But even when it comes to that though, so my concern is like, even if I was to fall in love with someone of that background, it's still going to be a block once the parents come into play. You know what I'm saying? The parents and the families. And like, if you don't have if their parents aren't open-minded the way that your person is, then that can cause conflict too. You know, so it's like thinking about the whole experience. And then what happens with the children? Are you teaching them one side here, one side there? You know, so I kind of think about all that.
Yeah. And I think it differs between each person. I know for women, like if you dated a Muslim man, you wouldn't have to convert or anything, but then who knows if there's kids later on.
Yes, kids. And I feel like it always starts that way. Like you don't have to, but then once you're in it, it's kind of like, where are you going with that on? You know what I'm saying? Like the switch.
Chill. Like,
you know, no, we not doing that.
Yes, kind of similar to you, Denise. When I lived in London and I was single, the biggest, my girl, she's Dominican, just like me, from New York. So that's what I reverted back to. I remember my dad, I told him, he's like, hold on, you went all the way out there.
all the way back.
And you got yourself, you didn't get yourself a foreign? Like, but for me, it was always the relatability.
Yes,
I didn't want to
That's the part.
Like, I always stuck with black or brown girls. Like, you know, I always wanted, because I didn't want to explain things to people.
That part.
Right? I didn't want to, my family, they speak Spanish. You know, my grandma doesn't speak any English. If I brought somebody who doesn't remotely want to even try to understand, like, you're not going to be able to have a relationship with them. And for me, it's super important that the person that I'm with has a relationship with my family, and vice versa.
Yeah, and people come here because they're like, okay, I'm just gonna find a rich man and things of that nature. Like, yeah, there are men that have a lot of money here, but you have to also think about it. There's pros and cons to everything. So you can be with someone who's wealthy, but I mean, if you're on a yacht and you're unhappy because y'all don't even have the same playlist, y'all have no relatability, y'all have no, you know, just simple things like that, you know. And I've been approached with people that have B's, you know what I'm saying? But for me, it's just like, but I don't like him though. Or he's older, or we don't have the same vibe, or, you know, and I don't feel like I'm being myself, my full self, because I'm on eggshells. I don't want that. You know what I mean?
And if you lead with, like, 50 cents at this, if you lead with your money, then you're basically on some garden tool.
Oh yeah,
stuff,
for
right?
sure.
Like, basically, like, because what happens when the money's gone? What happens, God forbid, something happens, and what's connecting us?
And that's what people have to realize. Like, money is so volatile. You know what I mean? If I have $1 million today and I lose it all tomorrow, like, that's a possibility, right? But you're still stuck with this person. So you have to think about, like, you make money and you lose money. That's why your bank account balance changes on a daily basis, right? Because it's volatile. So why would you tie your life decision to something that is always in motion?
That's true. And you be seeing people outside and certain couples, and you're like, yeah, that person.
I already know why
that
you're
person's
here.
not having a great
We know
time.
why you're here.
We know. I'm like, come on, there ain't no way. I was like, there ain't no way. I was like, but I was just like, wow, like, that person doesn't even look like they're having fun. They're on their phone the entire time. And the person across from them, I'm just like, so you're accepting this right now? Like, you're really sitting across from somebody who's on their phone all the time. I've gotten up from dates because of that. I'm
definitely.
like, I'm good.
I just want a good mix.
Dutch.
Right. I just want a good mix. You don't have to have all the money in the world. You can't be broke, but you don't have to have all the money. You know what I'm saying? But I want to enjoy our cookouts. You know what I'm saying? Right. We'll have a nice house. We'll have everything, multiple homes. We'll have all those things. And I'm good there. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.